Earlier in the show, we heard from Charles Robinson from the NBC Brother from Another podcast. This one's really interesting. Talks about the PR battle that is going on between the two lawyers, the lawyer for Deshaun Watson, Rusty Hard, and Tony Buzbee, who's representing now the 24 plaintiffs.
Deshaun Watson had pieces of the video depositions leaked, which is, they're not under seal, so it's not illegal, but it's a huge breach of etiquette between the attorneys, okay? Frankly, I think that pissed off Rusty Hart. He's like, okay, like, what are you doing? I think the fact that Tony Buzbee inserted the fact that there were settlement negotiations and he put the monetary amount out there in the 23rd lawsuit when he said Deshaun Watson had offered at that time the 22 plaintiffs $100,000 each to settle their suits. And that was something that occurred at the behest of the Miami Dolphins, said, settle the lawsuits, settle the civil suits. I got into this with a multitude of sources about how this unfolded. The way it was described to me was the Dolphins said, you got to settle these suits for us to entertain this trade. Deshaun, his legal team, they did make that offer, $100,000 per plaintiff to get it settled. And that initially, as many as 20 of the 22 plaintiffs were on board with that global settlement. A little time passed and two others pulled away. So it ultimately ended up being 18 that were willing to go for the global settlement, 4 who were not. And the Dolphins simply put, were like, no, it's all or none. This is how this has got to be. And that's kind of how that happened. Anyway, that was all supposed to be confidential. And Tony Buzbee inserted it into the 23rd lawsuit, this idea that Deshaun Watson had offered each plaintiff $100,000. So wow. I think that's part of why you're seeing this get contentious.
Yeah, without question. And you know, NDAs for lawyers, huh? Hey, yeah.
Oh, man. The mudslinging is going to a new level now, and it's only going to get worse in the next few weeks. They said June 30th is discovery date.
Yep.
I think that's when everything's going to come to a head.
Yeah, and I'm guessing shortly thereafter, you know, the any type of ramifications, fine. Now, the other thing, though, is there's always, as more of this comes out, there's always the commissioner's exempt list that comes into play. So we will keep our ear out for that.